Good evening. Welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the Think Show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so called African American didn't find themselves in America by a trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the Indigenous One. Truth will always prevail. What is, what's going to be is going to be. And being animals can sense it in nature. There is no reason why humans can't do the same thing. We have a lot of intelligent young people out there. Brilliant. I'm going to share one with you now. Check this out, and we're going to get into the program.
I've been delivering to Walmart distribution centers for years. I've picked up from cold food storage warehouses and delivered to Walmart. Now, with the process of what they do with the shit before they put it together and package it and all that, I can't tell you. I just know I deliver there. Don't know if it's real. I don't know if it's an armadillo, a horse, a human, meat. I could just tell you I deliver it there. Now, on my way home, I got food in my refrigerator, but I don't feel like eating the shit I got. I'm tired of eating chicken wings. I'm tired of eating that shit. I'm tired of eating chicken patties and whatever else I had. I'm like, I want a burger. Right? So I stopped at the Walmart I was about to pass in Ohio, right? Grab me a little stick of the, little five and some change stick of ground beef, 80% lean, 20% fat, whatever. Boom. I already got everything else, got all the fixings. I just need the ground beef. Got the fries, I just need the ground beef. So, long story short, I stopped, cooked my burger. Now, you know that 80% lean, 20% fat, 70% lean, 30% fat it makes its own grease as you fry it. Like, it produces its own grease, so you don't have to put a drop of oil in the pan or butter to get it going. It already does that itself. This didn't. What appeared to be water was coming out of the burger. So I'm like, this ain't right, but I got the taste for a burger. I want a burger. I'm not thinking nothing crazy. So as the burger's cooking, I slice it just a little bit to make sure that the center is brown, and it's not. So I go further and actually slice it almost in half and like open it, and the middle is like raw. I'm like, oh, this ain't right. Like, what the fuck is this? So I eventually cook it, right? Take a bite out of the burger. And I can tell you that it wasn't ground beef from a cow. It was ground beef from something. Probably was digitally printed because they passed the law and okayed that. Or it could have been, like I said, an armadillo, a horse, a human. I don't know what the fuck it was. It wasn't ground beef from a cow. I would suggest, right, for all of the people who shop at Walmart and get their edibles from there, listen, you got a Kroger's, a Wegmans, you New Yorkers, the Western Beef, Lit. Stay away. Matter of fact, ain't even a Walmart's in New York City, so y'all good. Stay away from the meats in Walmart. It ain't real. I will stand, allegedly, just so we safe, I would stay away. I'll give you an example. I bought some mangoes, because this even goes, it extends to the fruits, because anytime I buy mangoes, I love mangoes. Anytime I buy mangoes from Walmart, within 3 to 5 days after I buy them, they already start turning brown and rotten. The bananas, same thing, right? Cherries, not so much. Strawberries, not so much. My daughters, they love them. But the mangoes and the bananas go bad. I just bought some mangoes from Wegmans, but not just, but about 2-3 weeks ago. The mangoes still look the same way they look when I bought them. Got a little bit softer, but I mean, when I got them, they was barely ripe. They look very edible. that ground beef tasted like plastic and some other flesh that I never, like literally tasted like biting into a Timberland boot. I'm dead serious, man. It's wild times we living in, man, when you gotta question the food you buying. Because if you think about it, right? And I know we've seen plenty of videos that have stated the obvious. Where's all this meat coming from? Because I do drop by a lot of land where there's plenty of cows, but I mean, just about all of us who have our own place to live and have food in our refrigerators have at least one pack of ground beef in our refrigerator. And where's all this ground beef coming from? It ain't all coming from a cow. Walmart is selling us bad foods. I'll give you another, just real quick. When you get your food from Walmart and it has an expiration date, look at the expiration date. It's either a couple weeks close to its expiration or it's already past it. Those fresh breads that they sell, you take them home, like the long hoagie breads or the rolls. They fresh, they soft when you're buying from there, but 1 to 2 days after you buy them, it's already molding. That's not normal. I used to buy fresh bread years ago. I didn't do that, not from Walmart, but from other places. You go to Wegmans and buy fresh bread. You ain't got to worry about that. You go to Kroger's, buy fresh bread. Anywhere else where it's like a supermarket, it's not Walmart, the food is just better. That's not a coincidence. Just saying. Y'all do with that information what y'all will, man. Carry on.
I feel like I'm gonna have to agree with him when it comes to this, man. Lately, Walmart has had a lot going on with them. If I'm not mistaken, just recently they had something going on with the fish where they were finding out that the fish was contaminated and they had to do a recall on that. Not to mention the water bottle that popped and hit the guy in the eye, so on and so forth, y'all. And to be honest with you, it's just not Walmart. In my opinion, it's a lot going on with the food in general. Like he was saying, the fruit no longer lasts the way that it would normally last. And this is why Bill Gates came out with the new coating called Appeal, because nothing is organic anymore. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section below. I would love to know. Make sure you get over to YouTube. Follow me on YouTube at I Am Awakened. Do not forget to follow me on Instagram at I Am Awakened _ all things spiritual. And I just want to leave you guys as I came. I want you guys to always be aware, because to be aware is to be alive. And as always, peace, love, light, and abundance to you all. Ashe.
Now they saying for the first.
So it's information like that I like to share, because somebody shared that type of information with me, what got me going and start thinking. So these young brothers did it, and I hope you guys enjoyed that, because it just giving you some insight on what's going on. You know, we share the information we share because we know what has happened. We know that the average person don't know nothing about themselves. They can tell you about Michael Jackson. They can tell you about Magic Johnson, but they can't tell you anything about themselves. Very important. So this is what we mean about butterflies and caterpillars. Can you imagine them communicating? You see the type of food these people are selling you. And as long as you carry the store, because remember, in these communities, you're carrying the store. Without you, the store wouldn't exist. You are the masters of agriculture. Not you yourself, but you have it in your DNA. Your people were not so long ago. You addicted on this garbage that they've been serving. And like the brother said, and I know y'all know it, it's not food. All that pretending like it's played out. You can tell by the way the people speak, how they sound, what they're eating. It's not food. Shit, Walmart, what about the What about the stores that cheaper than Walmart? Save and Go. You know, them cheap stores right next to the dollar store. Step up from the dollar store. What do you think when you look at these ingredients and these things have 14, 15 ingredients? And see, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. That's why I like it here. Just common sense thinking people. Nikki said, yeah, the fake food is messing with our brain cells. Either she's right or she's wrong. She right. But we'll pretend like it really don't matter. I'm telling you, watch what you put in your throat. Watch what you put in your mouth. Because the people are waking up. The masses are waking up. It's going to help because the people who are on that, you dig, the people who swallowed whatever they put out. I think Corey Holcomb has something now where he's talking about Deion Sanders. And yeah, Deion Sanders is one of those cats that was pushing it. And now he's falling apart. This is what I mean. When you believe in things you don't understand, you suffer. Really? We just fall for anything. These corporations have been your enemy from the jump. And the masses just support them. Not even they won't even tell you what they serve you. Seriously, indigenous people of America, this is just a suggestion. When I say indigenous people of America, these people who you see on the screen right now, this is one of the first maps of America, one of the oldest maps, and when they're depicting the land and the people, the animals, they do it on those churches over in Germany. Go look at them. Don't just go to Germany and bring back a beer mug. Bring back some info. When you go to Amsterdam, just don't go to the smoke shop. Bring back some, because remember, New York used to be called New Amsterdam. How they come over here, get the land, and start naming it after themselves. And what were you doing at the time? See, now we don't want to talk. Huh? We don't want to say nothing. You better dust off those mistakes so you will never do that stupid shit again. You better look at what happened. Stop talking about stuff that don't matter. That's not helping anybody. You have something. You are from a part of this world, full of minerals. That's why we say, do your genealogy. Where did you live? What was around you? When I say you are your grandfather. You are your great-great-grandfather. You just reproduce. Is that so hard to understand and believe? That the trees, the leaves that fall from the tree are eventually going to become leaves again? Is that hard to believe? Whatever these people tell you, you believe, but won't believe yourself. Isn't that something? Never meet these people. And they now saying Bill Gates is changing his tune. Pay attention, y'all, because it's hitting right now. It's hitting right now. Make these people intelligent out here. All you got to do is say a couple of words. And you see it's happening now. You see it with the piece I just shared. People are starting to notice things. I mean, and you can tell by the young man's speech, he's on the road. He's a truck driver. You know he's eating shit all day. Because that's all they sell in these stores. Junk. Guess who keeps these stores popping? Guess without your involvement, what would happen to them? That's how we lose. We don't support each other. We support everybody else. That's how they're rich. And we act like we can do whatever we want. You don't tell me what to do, nigga. I can do whatever. We have that type attitude, that nonchalant attitude. Oh, he crazy. Yeah, okay. You have more stuff in your house made outside your country than you have made in your country, in your house. Right or wrong? See, nobody want to talk about that. Learn how to communicate with each other. Because what's going on now amongst the masses, I'm not saying it's not going on in groups or whatever, but the masses, socially, it's embarrassing. And please, I put the link to the chat. If you have something to add, please do. I'm not the only one sees it, do it. I'm not the only one who thinks that I'm part of this whole thing. You think as a group of people, and I know everybody got their own bag, but eventually, if you did, if you didn't, because a lot of people are immigrants. Say that. Because we're going to find out anyway. But the people, and I'll put it like this, because it's easier to understand. Let's say you were born, whatever your birthday is, pick anywhere on the planet, you are going to land there. And when you land there, you create a crater. That's where you're from. What happens when a crater is formed? Doesn't the earth change? There's something different about it. That's you. That's your kid. That's your grandkid. It makes a shift in the earth. You make a shift in the earth. Where you landed matters. Where your mother landed matters. Where your grandfather landed matters. Where his mama landed matters. Why? Because you come through all of those lines. That's why we say do your genealogy. You'll learn a lot about yourself. Who's your mom and daddy? What kind of work did they do? Where they come from? What were the minerals by their where they live, where their people are from? What kind of farmers were they? Did they go fishing without fishing poles? You know, you had some of the Indian tribes did that, especially amongst the Mississippi. Do your genealogy, find out who you are. You'll learn a lot. You'll learn a lot. So I'm going to give a shout out to the brothers because you really got some brothers out there now because people are really seeing it now. Uh, they're really seeing it now. You got a lot of people out there that are just talking and they're just confusing everybody. I mean, listen to them. You know, you try to tell them some things and it's like they can't be taught. And that's that school system. You know, made you think you learn anything. You just learn to be stupid. If you would just question it, you would see it. You know, people are starting to look more to, indigenous. What did the indigenous people practice? What were their spiritual practices? What did they do before the Catholic, before the Christians, before all those were involved? What they do? I'm not just talking about, and let's not look at it from a state's point of view. Remember, this is before borders. There was nobody telling you couldn't go here. There was nobody telling you this is a sundown town. You were free to go and do and evolve what you were supposed to evolve to. These people came and said, "Don't move, nigga." And you've been stuck ever since. How you look at it, not how somebody tells you to look at it, or not what somebody tells you it is, what you say. Nikki said it's changing our DNA. What is it? What is it changing it to? If the DNA is being changed, if the structure of the plant, we'll use plant instead of human because I think it's easier to follow that train of thought. If you alter that plant, what will it be? Because it's not, when you say changing its DNA, you saying changing it from something what it is to something that it's not. What are you changing it to? Bill Snakes is changing. All these frogs are changing. What are they changing into? Because they're not frogs anymore. The DNA is being changed. And with that food, what is it doing to the DNA? What are you being changed to? What are the people who took that you dig? What are they being changed to? Don't act like you don't see it. It's in full effect. It's in full effect. So when you hear information, because we just here to share information with the youth, because it's not coming from nowhere else. So I say, remember your grandfather. What did he do? What skills did he have? Uh, Whatever it was, it could have been pruning trees. I don't know. What did he do? You have some type that skill set in you. It doesn't have to be what he or she had done. It can just be something else. You could use that work ethic. That's why you don't follow stars and celebrities. You follow people in your family. There's somebody, remember, in everybody family, you always had a guy who could do flips. They're just acrobatic. Remember, everybody had that in their family. And you would, you know, everybody would bring each other over to see who was the best. Remember that? Something like that. There's somebody in your family that has all together with everybody else in the family have it could change the world. Everybody in the family, everybody in the family has a nurse. So she's the goddess of whatever the clan is. You want to get well, there's that's her. It's simple. These are the kind of practices that your folks used to practice. You didn't. Michael Jackson wasn't it. It was somebody that you could just go up and touch until you got caught up in that celebrity worship. Not good. Beverly Martin says you're changing into something that is artificial. It's not hard, y'all. It's not hard. It's not hard. Pretty soon you'll be able to control them with a remote control. Watch. With the remote control. The TV and the radio is most people's thinking. That's how they get through to you through the mind. The TV and the radio. If you don't see it, it's too late. You probably never will. What does everybody have in their house and get bigger and bigger every year? A TV to do what? What's another name for the TV? What's another name? Somebody got to give it to me. What's another name for the TV? And it's probably the most right as rain answer you can get. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. Everybody keeps saying television. No, it's Idiot Box. It's the Idiot Box. I think the different answers come from it's generational. Like Idiot Box was the term when I was a kid. Television, and that it's become more and more mainstream as more and more information is starting to get out. I don't know if you remember a song by Public Enemy, those of you guys who are into hip hop. Public Enemy had a song back then. She watched Channel Zero. It was one of those new wave type songs, but it's made its point across. She watched Channel Zero. The TV, you have pictures coming up in your mind. You formulate thoughts every day, 24/7. And you would put those to the side to watch something in a screen. What? What? You have pictures, ideas, recipes, formulas formulating in your mind 24/7 nonstop. You would rather cut that off, sit down in front of a screen, and watch whatever they have coming on. What? Family Feud? Wheel of Fortune? Really? You're not tired of old shows yet? It's like this girl told me one time, you you know why I can't stand football? I was like, no, why? She said, because they do the same thing over and over and over and over. And I was like, you're absolutely right. That's how you keep, things in order. Repetition. You can't have people do more stuff than what they're doing because they'll mess it up. So they have to give them some over, over, same news story, same, and what they play on the radio for music. I mean, ugh, seriously, seriously, that's artificial. You can tell. So no, learn to communicate with yourself. You have ideas. You have thoughts. You have inspirations. Jay, what's going on, man? Thanks for coming on.
Hey, Gary. Sorry
Hey,
I'm late. I didn't think this thing was gonna work. I don't know what happened the last time. I couldn't get on. I don't know. Can you hear me?
yes.
Yeah. I came in late, but I heard you talking about the food,
Yeah.
right? And I
Yeah.
saw the part where someone said it's changing people's DNA. I heard a scientist mention earlier, some weeks ago, he basically said that the GMO food itself, the body doesn't know what to do with it. I remember a demonstration showing GMO corn and regular corn, and every time the squirrels would just eat the regular corn. They would not touch the GMO corn.
So why do you think rabbits and other life forms get it, but humans don't? Because man, I don't know if you saw the video we played earlier where the young man was talking about he buying items at these Walmarts. They just stores. They can just sell anything because that most of the stuff in them stores is junk, shit that nobody's needs. And people just keep filling up their houses with it.
Right.
The food look like toys.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. The GMO, I think I remember it did sound like Bill Gates years ago. He mentioned GMOing the people itself. So, you hear this subject about transhumanism, and then him talking about earlier about the carbon footprint, getting rid of that, bringing it to zero. You just tie in the links, you get an idea where they're taking it. So point taken is that they are literally not only altering the DNA. I think in 2013 it was mentioned, someone mentioned it. I didn't read it myself, but I heard that I think the Supreme Court mentioned something about the mRNA technology. Anybody taking that is no longer considered, I think, human, I think they mentioned. And that was in 2013. So you roll around 2020, they started to scare people, using threat, duress, and coercion to take this substance by way of the hypodermic needle that has mRNA technology. So it wasn't a vaccine, it was a gene editing technology. Those that are still around, you know, and has had multiple shots, they're they're being altered, their DNA is being changed into something else.
So by the looks of things, what is that something else?
A product, a GMO product, owned by the creators of the technology, the gene editing technology. Whatever it's going to do, whether either it's going to shorten your lifespan or whatever, you know, there's no telling since everyone's getting something different.
Right.
You know, years ago, before this even rolled out, there was an individual podcast that he was talking about an aquatic creature. I think I might have mentioned it before, but it's worth mentioning again, where it was in the cephalopod family, cuttlefish, octopus, squid, and those creatures, they can actually shapeshift by way of mRNA, messenger RNA. But even back then, when he was talking about it, he mentioned they were exploring, you know, the, the aspects of using mRNA. And even then, he said it was actually extremely dangerous.
Yeah, man, it seems like the scientists and all those people are, you know, taking life and doing what they want to do with it, and it's really not helping anything. So I don't know how long we ride that boat, but you know, the world must be a better place. The world must be a better place. Just telling people, you know, what's being told to them on the news and on these podcasts. You can't eat, just always got to show you in a poverty mindset, way of living, thinking.
Yeah,
I think that's something that we got to pay attention to.
yeah, the food. I can remember when I was very young what the food used to taste like back then versus what it tastes like now. If you ever notice, a lot of the foods now, people gotta pretty much douse it with herbs in order to make it taste like anything. It means it's bad. So you see the artificial is being thrusted forward, and the natural is taking a back step. You know, I mean, artificial everything, including the intelligence, artificial intelligence. You could see where things have been heading all this time. Um, they're promoting artificial intelligence like it's the savior of the world. when in actuality, what it's doing is it's you have to actually diminish. You have to
Right.
dumb down for that to be smelling like a rose.
Right. And you know what the funny part is, man, and this is where I'm like, you really there's only you have to have an internal backup system in you that notice things, see things, feel things. Everybody has that. Everybody has it. It's kind of like uh, when a dog knows something's about to happen, it'll do whatever to make sure the one that's taking care of him is okay. You know what I mean? You've seen that before in animals. Animals do that. And it's like these people have no regard for life itself. Like you were talking about earlier, they're talking about transhuman. Why would you want to take the human somewhere where it's not really ready to evolve to? Explain that.
Yeah, I remember a year ago there was a sister that even mentioned that, where they're trying to take um this society down a hole where the technology is going to be used to trap the soul. So that's the transhumanism. That's where that's coming from. Um, that's the whole idea of it all. We're dealing with energy vampires anyway. When you really get down to it, take the most dangerous immigrants to enter this country, the Rockefellers. I mentioned it to you earlier tonight, where their legacy has been destruction. They revamped the whole medical establishment in America since the 1950s with their poisons and attacked anything natural. And then to add to it, to add more insult to injury, the industry with the oil, petrol, they started using that to cause a lot of problems, pollutions of all kinds. You think like even plastics. I mean, even the oceans now. I heard that that recycling, Am, that only 15% of the plastics recycled is actually recycled, and the rest is still being dumped in the ocean. It's deliberate. And then to add even further insult, the destruction of the family. That's their legacy. So, in African Americans ain't African, you had a post, somebody posted something where brother was talking about civilizations, and he broke it down. He says Roman and Greek empires, that was not no civilization whatsoever. They stole certain things and then they destroyed. A society that goes down the path of destruction is
Right.
not a civilization at all.
So would you say America's civilization is the same thing?
Well, yeah, because see, the
I
Roman
I
Empire
mean,
never.
not America's situation, USA civilization.
Well, yeah, because the Roman Empire never died. It hid in the church. They hid it right in the church. It's hiding.
Right.
So they took on the same pattern, business as usual. So we can do better than that. And I've always said you cannot actually deviate from the original or natural without negative consequence. You're not going to be able to do it. This is the
Right.
reason why when you go to these medical establishments, what do they give you all day long? Constantly treatments. There's no cures in there, none at all.
Right.
They just treat symptoms. What good is that going to do you? Doesn't do anything. Just makes them more money with the construct monetary system we're using.
Yeah, man, that medical system, what? And that's what I'm saying, man. You just can't believe people, something that's been pushed on you the last 100 years. It didn't work for your mama, your grandmama, didn't work for nobody, but you think it's gonna work for you. And I'm talking about it all. The whole, what you call this. I went to school, and the biggest dummy ever. Don't know anything. Well, what would you say? Because the people are mad now. I don't even know how this went down or how it's going down. But I'm like, look, if these people are changing the way you just think you're supposed to eat every day anyway, eat, eat, eat. They got you on this thing where, oh, I don't know, look, you can't come up with other ways to sustain yourself. Somebody was a farmer in your family a little while ago. You don't have you can't figure this out. It's like it's a chess game. They make a move. Now, what's your move? Are you going to fall to them and keep falling to them? Because it's like Public Enemy said, no matter what the name, we're all the same pieces in one big chess game. And I'm saying the indigenous people, you should have more intelligence, way more intelligence than you have now. And you're just not using it. I mean, am I
We
wrong about that?
we gotta stop following these trendsetters. They're not doing any any good. They're they're basically, I like to call them guided missile uh, types that have you um, following and operating within agendas that doesn't serve you well. Because in each and every individual there is an inner center that is your own authority. You have to operate under your own authority because there is no authority outside of yourself. The moment you think there is, that's when they got you because you have to operate. You have to self-govern. You have to be self-responsible. And a lot of people are not doing that. They don't want to do that. They don't want to bother. They don't want to know anything. They don't want to improve themselves. You're supposed to be working on yourself. But instead, all this fakeness, this artificial spirituality with religions, that everything artificial is being promoted. Artificial food, artificial intelligence, artificial intentions. Even the atmosphere is being, you know, artificial with the spraying, you know.
Right.
You're not
Well,
even breathing. You're not even breathing, natural atmosphere anymore. With
right.
the chemtrail spraying, they don't like that word, but that's exactly what's coming out of those airplanes. Because you see a trail coming outside the aircraft miles downrange, that's not contrail or vapor coming from the engine. That and it stays there in the sky for hours. A lot of people don't look up. They don't even know that stuff is not clouds. When you see a streak miles downrange and then it disperses, it spreads out and lingers up there. They found all kinds of substances in the rainwater that comes down.
Yeah.
So don't go by what they say. You got to watch what they do. See, they talk a lot of shit talking about, the environment, and they're doing the exact opposite. Don't go by what they say. Watch what they do.
That reminds me of that song, Heard It Through the Grapevine. Believe half of what you see, none of what you hear. Jay, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night tonight.
All right.
I appreciate you taking time up, come up, hang out with me, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to get through. I don't know what happened the last time. It's getting really bad. They gotten to the point where they don't even want you to even speak your mind with all this censorship. These platforms, they're horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, and that's why I said, we're not only are we going to have to learn how to communicate, because it's a cool tool to use to communicate. But when somebody sets up rooms where you go in and speak and they can mess it up, the link, however they mess it up, hide in comments, censor, just blatant censorship. And I'm
I
saying
think
that,
that's exactly what's happening with Lisa. They want to stop her from spreading the truth.
oh, of course.
And
Oh,
they've turned, they've literally turned what one would typically understand writing or language to communicate with. They turned it around and turned it into a damn weapon. That's what they've done.
well, I think if more of the people, like you said, look at themselves, worked on themselves, we wouldn't have the problem. Because when you can just say anything and have the people do without regard to themselves, and be, sooner or later, you're going to have to come to the realization that your master is not the problem. I'm just saying, man, we got to look at it in reality. Because if you look at it in reality, that's the only way you're going to see how to fix it. But, man, I'm going to get out of here, dude. I got to roll now.
You got it.
We'll chat soon.
Good night,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We'll see you next time. Peace.